And of course they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and the real reason. Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. Bottom line, they try to say it's the prices that matter. The prices are only a reflection, and the real inflation is the amount of growth in the money. That's what the real inflation is.
Right. Well, it's the dilution of your purchasing power. I mean, just ask yourself a simple question. I grew up. I was a kid a little sooner than a lot of the people that are probably listening. 15, 18 years ago, but when I was a kid, it cost $3 to go to the movies. Today, it's $11. Okay. Now the movies haven't gotten any better. In fact, in some ways, they've gotten worse. So I guess my purchasing power has gone down. So the middle class is being deceived into thinking that they're getting richer because their paycheck's going up, when in reality everything's costing more. And in the last few years, it was your house that costed more. If you were lucky enough to get in before the boom, you had a massive increase in your paper wealth. But for the most part, I mean, people like me coming out of college, it occurred to me that something was wrong when I was sitting across the table from the president of my synagogue one night, and he's trying to talk me into getting a mortgage. He wanted me to get a $400,000 mortgage on a one-bedroom condo in Marina del Rey. And when I told him, this is like 2006, when I told him, well, I don't have $80,000 for a down payment, he said, oh, that's okay. You can get a fixed mortgage for 80% of it, and the other 20% you can do is an interest-only reverse amortization loan. And I go, are you high? He says, no, housing prices can only go up. So that was the illusion that the middle class was tricked into for the last 8 years, was this belief that somehow or another, because their home was increasing in price, their personal wealth was increasing in price, when in reality the purchasing power of their money was going to crap. So.
Just a couple of quick points. I don't think a lot of people realized how important the cheap mortgages were to the real estate boom. Once you hit 0%, that's pretty much as far as you can go. So, I mean, the values of homes have been inflated for, it's probably been 24 to 36 months at this point, if not longer, depending on how you look at it. And anybody who didn't see this coming just wasn't looking. You weren't paying attention. All you saw was shiny new house, low mortgage payment. What happens after 3 years? You ask the questions, and these guys, they're in it for profit. They're not going to explain every little detail. You expect the payment to go up, and then you get the bill, and you go, well, this is 3 times more than I thought it was going to be, and I'm going to lose my house. So those things, they're interdependent, and the other thing people don't realize is that what inflation is. If you ask the average person on the street what inflation is, I don't think they could tell you. I really don't. And frankly, if you really want to just keep it simple, stupid, you just tell them, look, money, the same laws of supply and demand, apply to the money supply as they do to anything else. And people, what? But that's the simplest way to put it. And
I think
I think education's really important. People need to sort of wake up to this.
It is, and the education really doesn't go beyond your own household. People who showed up at tea parties, by and large,
well,
I think
Facebook is for. So when your friend and your neighbor loses their house, you understand what not to do.
Right. So. But the sensibility, the common sense, you don't have to be a PhD in economics to know that if the government is borrowing 10 times more than they bring in a year, then you're eventually going to hit the wall.
Actually, if you have a PhD in economics, you're probably less likely to figure out what's going on.
That's right. Well, and that's where the libertarian angle comes in. It says, look, left and right has failed us. Both of the major parties have failed us in the sense that they've used the government to further their own political agendas, power agendas, and they've left everyone high and dry. And they've learned to collude with each other to drive our overall national credit rating down. And the only way to fight back is to organize in these cellular levels. Now, not to analogize with Al Qaeda, but we are operating in cells, right? These tea parties are like cells, right? We're not trying to hurt anybody. It's nonviolent to this point, even though the media was trying to portray the tea parties.
The difference is cells are interdependent. terrorist cells are interdependent, and the Tea Parties are not. Just because people have a similar goal does not mean they're colluding.
Right.
And that would be the main difference. I mean, the idea is bigger than any one person or any one group, and that's what keeps people together. It's not about sort of a covert network. It's about liberty. It's about lower taxes. It's about making sure that the government doesn't spend the money it doesn't have. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Right.
It's when you grew up, your parents told you don't spend money you don't have. I mean, when did that change? You get to a certain age and suddenly it's okay? I mean, everything changes? I don't understand how people get there.
Yeah. So the thing is, we're up against 9 o'clock. What I want to do is open it up to make sure everyone feels comfortable to offer their own questions. So let's make sure we're not going to get through the whole list. We got through the basic startups, and I think the last thing we'll do before we go to questions is if we could just have each of you talk about what you're going to do in the future. July 4th, what's the next events coming up?
Seriously.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh no, let's start with the boys. They're organizers. Let them go first.
One of the big things that's going around for the July 4th event is that people, instead of having a lot of smaller separate events, they want to have larger events. A lot of people are talking about having 10,000 person events. So a lot of the people around the San Fernando Valley, are trying to get us to all converge. So they've asked the Santa Monica Tea Party to join up with I guess it's the Valley Tea Party, but being the I always believe in abundance. Instead of saying no to one thing and yes to another, I just say yes to everything. So I'm going to just basically what they did, they told me was, we guarantee you a large libertarian participation. So I said, okay, so I'm just going to have both tea parties because people want to stay in Santa Monica, so they're going to go to that tea party, and I'm going to make sure we have a large libertarian contingent in the Van Nuys or the San Fernando Valley 10,000 person, whatever they want to call it. I'm going to make sure that the libertarians are represented. It's July 4th also. And it's going to be kind of workable because a lot of people are talking about the fact that we'll have a tea party, but then people are going to want to separate and go to their various events where the fireworks are. Well, Santa Monica has fireworks. Do they have fireworks? Not anymore?
They probably hurt the whales or something.
Well, I don't. We need to get those details. Yeah. But some people have suggested an after tea party barbecue at the off the side of the pier. There's a lot of suggestions. And the thing is, with the tea party they're planning in Van Nuys, they want to have it in the daytime, so that way people can break off. So it's going to be an opportunity for us to have events throughout the day where freedom, the Liberty Bell is going to be ringing for the whole day. And we're going to redeclare our independence. And we're going to re-ratify the Constitution because it's not broken. Yeah, we're going to re-ratify it, so...